This next one's called Keep Hydrated. Nathan loves cycling. Because Nathan knows it is important to stay hydrated, he drinks 1/2 liters or 0.5 liters of water per hour of cycling. You get given the time in hours, and you need to return the number of liters Nathan will drink, rounded to the smallest value. For example, consider a time input of 3 hours. That would return 1 liter. If you multiply 3 times 0.5, or which is the same as dividing by 2, right? You get 1.5. But remember, they said to always round to the smallest. What they mean is integer value. So, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, which would go down to 1. Similarly, if you had 6.7 and divide that by 2, that's going to come out to 3.35, is that right? And that would round down to 3. And then same kind of thing going on here. So I think that's pretty clear. Go ahead and finish this one and resume whenever you're ready. So we've certainly done problems like this before. We already have the system namespace brought in, and that's good because I'm going to use the math class. In particular, its floor function, which we've seen before, and that's very handy. It'll take a floating point value and return in double form another floating point, the nearest integer value. So if you have a value like 3.2, you get 3 back. If you have 3.7, you get 3 back. If you have 3.999999, you still get 3 back. And as you may imagine, there's something if you ever want to go the other way that's called ceiling, and it works the opposite way, where if you had 3.9, it would go to 4. 3.5 would go up to 4, and even 3.00001 would go up to 4. So that's pretty handy here. I'll go ahead and use that. Math, and that's called floor. And then, you can easily do this in one line, but I like to try to promote better practices. So I'll say private static read only double, and I'm going to make a constant that represents this amount of water he should be getting per hour. Water needed per hour. 0.5F was the value they gave us. And I'm going to note that this is in liters. And then this whole thing will read very nicely. I'm even going to modify the parameter name to be time in hours. I know that's a pet peeve of mine sometimes when I see something like time, because you often get it in milliseconds, seconds, ticks, could be anything. And so that's really nice when you have an idea of what to what to expect. And so we can take the amount of time in hours and multiply that by the amount of water needed per hour, right? And you can see those units cancel out very nicely. The hours cancel out, and you're left with a liters amount of water, which is precisely what the answer needs. So we got that. Yeah, simply take the hours times the rate. The floor will round for us properly. And then one other catch, they want the output in integer form, and if you check the docs, floor returns a double. So I'll do a C-style cast here to an integer, and that'll just say to transform this floor's output into an integer. And there's no problem there going from a double to an integer. You can accommodate that. So I think we're good there. I'll go ahead and run the test. Looks good. Hit the attempt. Still good. I'll submit mine, and basically you'll just see time times 0.5 is what most people are going to do, and cast it to an integer value. So fire that off, grab that Caillou. And there you go. Time over 2. The one-line Wallies. There we go. Time times 0.5. Same difference, right? Tomato, tomato. There you go. Someone else used floor. That's cool. So yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next challenge. Thanks.